home against the Latvians, beat them 10-0 last year. The Latvians did qualify for the quarters last year with a shock win over Germany in their last round robin game. 2 veteran officials. Peter Stano has worked 3 world championships. The Slovak referee, the Swiss referee, Michael Sherrick, 2 world championships, and the 22 Olympic Games. Again, these games and the World Championship being used as an evaluation tool for officials. Jack Ivankovic, the first 17-year-old to start for Canada in a World Junior game in 38 years. And he will face Leonard Svelbergs, who's back for his 2nd World Junior. Played against Canada last year, allowed 7 goals on 31 shots before being pulled. Dave Cameron liked a lot of what he saw from his team last night against Finland, especially the first 2 periods. And Artis Abels, he runs hot behind the Latvian bench, a longtime player for their national team. He's an assistant coach at both the World Championship and Olympic Games levels.
You just have the ice on the ice. Hey! We got a guy, okay? Hey! Just go on this side. Okay, guys, let's go.
Now we're underway. After a carefully managed opening face-off, Bradley Nadeau chips that into the Latvian bench. So 38 years since a 17-year-old star for Canada. The last, Jimmy Waite, at the 87 World Junior, posted a 3-0 record. But it's been that long for a goalie yet to be drafted to play for Canada in goal. What a moment. Ivankovic, the native of Mississauga, plays for Brampton in the Ontario League. That long shoot-in is icing. And Jimmy Waite's last start, he did not finish for Canada. No one did. It was the Piestetti punch-up against the Soviets in 1987. Waite came back the next year. The tournament was in the Soviet Union in Moscow. He was brilliant. One of the greatest performances ever by a Canadian goaltender at the World Junior. Canada beat the Soviets 3-2 in Moscow. Won the gold medal that year under a very difficult situation in Moscow. A lot of intimidation tactics. Joe Shackings always says one of the greatest goaltending performances he's ever seen in person. Cal Ritchie swings that down for Oliver Baugh. That's picked off by Peteris Bulans. Moves it ahead for Eric Smateko, the captain of St. John of the Quebec League.
So you imagine it's a pretty nerve-wracking day for Jack at the start, but what about his family?
Dad Frank, Mom Kelly, sister Morgan.
It would be tough. It would be so tough. You want your son to do so well for all the different reasons.
That Gum's getting a workout.
He's gonna be through 8 packs of Hubba Bubba before the end of this game.
Porter Martone plays that back in the corner. Now knocked down at the line. Tanner Molinek, a long shot. That's blocked. Now Jagger plays it back in. Greg Jagger, the Canadian captain, was brilliant on face-offs in the game against Finland. He was 14-1 on draws. Cal Ritchie was 12-4 as Canada went better than 70%. Jagger plays it down between the legs. So it's Tanner Howe. And Leonard Svelbergs makes the stop.
Tanner Howe recognizing he was running out of room. Yes, he's going through his legs, but you understand why. He gets this puck drifting away from the net. And on the back end, there's nothing there, so he's got to get it back to the far side of the net. The easiest way to get it is through the legs. Just missed catching a piece of the puck. As Trunskis comes over and bothers him.
Svelbergs, the Latvian goaltender, plays for Sherbrooke in the Quebec League. Here's Caden Price with a long shot, floats wide. These Latvian players play in 10 leagues in 8 countries. Their league basically collapsed when the Russians invaded Ukraine and Russia was suspended from international competition. The Latvians withdrew from the KHL. So the domestic league below the top level is almost non-existent. Berkeley Catton tried to center it. That's knocked down and moved out by Dmitry Demetka. In comes Davis Lipschitz with it. Long shot goes off the stick. Up and out of play. The Latvians pulled off the surprise last year. Beat Germany 6-2 in the last preliminary round game. Lost in the quarterfinals to the U.S. to finish 8th. In 2017 in Montreal and 2013 in Ufa, they were relegated. But the Latvians are in the top division for the 4th consecutive year for the first time. They won a bronze of the World Championship in 2023, beat the U.S. 4-3 in overtime, one of the great scenes we've ever witnessed. Thousands of Latvian fans made the trip to Finland to watch it. And after the bronze medal win, the next day was declared a national holiday in Latvia. Bonk lays that back for Schaefer. That pass over the head of Ethan Gauthier. Back down the ice, and nice and called against Canada.
Tough pass, but you got a duck to get out of the way, as Schaefer has been getting a lot of attention. And you know Dave Cameron, the coach, wanted to quiet down the noise around Schaefer, around McKenna, around Ivan Kovic. But
tried.
Unfortunately, the performances they're putting up has caused the hype to continue to build. Anyone wearing a cage is having themselves a tournament for Canada.
Well, for a long time, it was very difficult for underage players to make a difference in the tournament. Then along came Bedard, along came Celebrini. There have been examples in the past, but not many. Face off, one back to Retanez. That long shot was blocked, and shot blocking such a big part of Canada's win over the Finns last night. Earned a standing ovation from the fans here in Ottawa in the third period on the penalty kill. Here is Schaefer with it. Bonk back into Schaefer, winding in, fires that back down to Latvian zone and heads off on a change. Knocked down by Gauthier on the forecheck. And back at the point is Bo Aki. Aki a long wrist shot. That hit the captain, Pateris Boulans up high. No little chance Feldberg to stop on that. Played back in by Price. Here's Gauthier on it. Ethan Gauthier. Lines across the top. Holds that rolling puck. Puts it back in the corner to Price, who's in deep. Back around for Nadeau. Bradley Nadeau. Back across to Price. Has a look and shoots. And Feldberg makes the stop on that.
And make sure if you're Canada that you're going to have the puck a lot. You're going to be the offensive end a lot. You got to keep working to get to the dangerous spots on the ice. Shots from the outside, 5 guys wheeling around the outside, handling it is not going to be the answer. Get something more direct in front of the net. At least one body, if not 2.
Ritchie lost that face-off. Oliver Smirniks, the top center for the Latvians, plays for Sioux City in the United States Hockey League. Kurbaka moves out ahead and finds Matejko. Got 14 goals in 23 games this year for St. John in the queue. Here's Cowan on it. Turn it over. In comes Matejko with a shot. And Ivan Kovic got a piece of that. Another long drive. That was blocked in front. That hit Aki and seemed to stagger him a bit. Ritchie taken down at center ice, and a penalty coming to Latvia. The holding call, and Canada gets an early power play.
Tough penalty. Murnek's on the back check. Gotta get the hold.
Play number 14. 2 minutes for the holding.
Generated a turnover. Mr. Cowan takes it back. Wide open, dangerous spot. Ivan Kovic actually gets a piece of that with his blocker. For Cal Ritchie, that is a bear hug.
That's 2-hand holding.
That is no complaints there. And so Canada heads to the power play, which has been a work in progress for the pre-comp games.
0 for 3 last night. They haven't scored a power play goal since the first pre-tournament game against the Swiss. Didn't have a power play chance in their last. Here's Schaefer. Drops it back to Jagr. Back in the corner. To Cap. Jagr takes the return pass, works his way in, holds, and pivots back.
McKenna says, give it to me.
Long shot by McKenna, knocked away by Feldberg. But Martone parked in front, and now sent down the ice by Oskars Bredis. Schaefer or Jagr, in comes Schaefer with a chance, shoots, Feldberg saves it. And Schaefer went down hard into the end boards, and he is slow to get up. And Schaefer slowly gets up and will make his way back to the Canadian bench with his left arm dangling.
Hope he's okay. As he goes barreling in the net, the give and go. He's got to take it there. He just was, I think he was staring at the rebound that he created.
And he's going straight down the tunnel to the Canadian dressing room.
Oh boy, the left shoulder still being favored as he leaves the bench. That's a massive collision, full speed. You can only hope that he's going to just get checked out and be able to return.
Cowan drops it back for Bonk. And now Nadeau with it. Nadeau winds in. Drops it back in the high slot. Ritchie drops it back to Bonk with a shot. That was blocked. Bonk pulls that free for Baudouin. Back to Oliver Bonk. Feeds it back to Cowan, crisscrossing with Bonk. The two London Knights go to work. Bonk back to Cowan. Winds it back across. Ritchie centers it, bouncing, punches it wide by Nadeau. 40 seconds to go in the Canadian power play. At the point is Bonk. Bonk along wrist shot that was partly blocked by Cloutsands. Bonk back with it. Feeds it back across. Ritchie a rink wide pass, and Cloutsands got to stick on that to knock it out. Lead pass for Nadeau. He finds Ritchie. Ritchie back to Nadeau with a shot off the outside of the post. Nadeau plays it back around to Ritchie. For Bonk. To Cowan. Back for Baudouin. Cowan winds in. Drops that back to Bonk, and Cowan with a look. Shooting in was blocked. Now Bonk unloads. That was blocked by Domers. One shot for Canada on the power play. Baudouin centers it. First for a moment. Played back to Feldbergs by Mornieks, and he'll hang on to that.
Pretty good kill for Latvia. As you could hear the bench celebrating and hooting and hollering with every shot block or pass deflection. Trying to stay tight, get in lanes when you can. There's a pretty gutsy block as Domers gets down and takes that one away. Oliver Bonk. One of the reasons he's on the first power play is he does have a shooting mentality. Not afraid to put pucks at the net from the blue line.
Off the draw, one back, and then shot by Gibson is gloved by Feldbergs. Andrew Gibson led Canada a nice time with 21.5 minutes in the first game.
Becoming a bit of a cult favorite here.
The mustache is a big hit here.
The game should be a bigger one because he's very good. Maybe not as flashy. Maybe the points aren't there quite the same for him in junior, but start thinking about what he might look like as a pro. With his fan club in tow.
Gibson back to Molendyk. Feeds out in the corner to Gauthier. There's Molendyk with a long wrist shot. That was blocked by Domers. And the puck goes up and out of play. 13:57 to go in the first.
Canada early in this game has been the departure of Matthew Schaefer on the rush. He crashes heavily into the net and left favoring his left arm, left shoulder. You see him take the blow right onto his left shoulder. Stayed down for a moment, went to the bench, went straight down the tunnel. And obviously lots of concern for everybody involved.
Here's Gibson with it. That bounces down to Feldbergs. Will hang on to that. And the Schaefer family, among the Canadian families watching here. In the middle is his dad, Todd. His brother, Johnny, with the cap on backwards.
You'd almost want to get word up to the family as to what's going on.
Right. I'm sure they will.
As fast as possible.
Gibson. The Gauthier, that's shot wide by Cataford. Now banked out by Domers. Plays offside at the Canadian line. Dave Cameron talked about the Latvians are a hard-working team. We've seen them at the World Championship. They're often outgunned, but last year the Germans were riding high. They'd beaten the Finns for the first time. They were thinking quarterfinal spot. The Latvians beat them in the last game. It was Latvia that went to the quarters, and the Germans had to play in the relegation and needed overtime to stay alive in the tournament. Beat Norway in OT. Win the game, you have to win. And for the Latvians, that's Germany on December 30th. Now a centering pass from Matejko that was knocked away. And Sam Dickinson trying to snap that pass ahead for Pinelli. Too far, icing called against the Canadians.
So with Schaefer out, extra minutes to go around. He plays third most minutes in game 1. Sam Dickinson will probably pick up some of those minutes. Bo Akey, who's the 7th defenseman, who played sparingly in game 1, will now take a regular shift. And we'll see who partners up with Oliver Bonk. I wonder if they go Dickinson and Bonk together in the London Knight teammates.
Only 4 of these Latvian players actually play in Latvia.
Their hockey DB pages are novels.
They're pizzas is what they are. That's an icing call against the Latvians. 8 of these Latvians are too young to be drafted yet in the NHL.
It bodes well for next year and the next year after that.
Hard to say, Bulls. He ran hot as a player, and
he's got a very stern demeanor about him on the bench. The thing Latvia will do, you can beat them, but they'll stick to the game plan. They won't make it easy for you.
Brought up by Krishanis Sarts. Like a lot of these Latvian players plays in the North American Hockey League, junior league in the United States. Pinelli moves it ahead. Here comes McKenna with a chance. Felder save. Rebound. Score! Berkeley can't poke it home. He thought the referee says no goal.
McKenna's debating that it went in.
Pinelli plays it back across. Bonk a long shot. Goldberg's stick is in the net. The Canadians celebrating like they'd scored, but apparently the puck stayed out.
McKenna was adamant that he thought it went in. The referee right there waved it off. And had it gone in, we probably would hear a horn blowing the play dead, so as to not waste more minutes than it was obviously in.
Here's Dickinson back with it. Crowd still buzzing about that. Sam Dickinson. Off ahead for Yager jumping in. Braden Yager. In the corner for Howe. Tanner Howe. Plays it back around to Gibson. Gibson posts up. Banks it back in low for Martone. Martone's pass was knocked away and off to the races is Daniel Serkins, but equalized hard with Dickinson in front of the Canadian bench. Interference with the call against Sam Dickinson.
This is just someone hesitating and not playing instinctively. Dickinson could have gone in and pitched that puck down, elected to play it safe.
2-minute interference.
Got to a bad spot, absolutely interfered with Serkic. And here's the earlier chance. McKenna driving it wide, rebound bouncing all around. Is it in? Now right across to go short post.
Okay, there's Catton's shot.
Catton post. And the spin brought it back out. McKenna's family thought we had a goal, and no, we do not, as play continues. And now Latvia heads to a power play.
Right. Canada was shorthanded 5 times against the Finns. Did not allow a power play goal. A run through Matejko, number 9 in the point. This is Osmanis. Walks it and shoots. Good stop there by Ivan Kovic, and the rebound put high by Saratskas.
Latvia not being too greedy, trying to set up an absolute perfect play. Just get the puck up, get some open ice as Gauthier blows a tire and put it in the front of the net. Ivan Kovic with a good save and a block. Bonk get down as that puck was juicy right there.
Yeah, Lifshitz with a shot, and Bonk blocked that. Now a long shot by Boulans is swatted away by Ivan Kovic. There's Boulans. Back across. Lifshitz with a shot. Lifshitz just missed the net. Baudouin got a stick on that. Now Matejko is taken down as Canada clears it down the ice. Matejko's in his 3rd year in the Quebec League with St. John. And away comes Sionskis. There is Sionskis. Plays it back around for Wazalapa. Boulans walks it and shoots. Ivan Kovic saved. The rebound wouldn't sit for Delevka as Ivan Kovic was down. Players scattering. 40 seconds to go in a Latvian power play. Still no score here in the first period. Tsiankis, who plays for Randa in the Quebec League. Drops it back for Poulans, who plays in Chicoutimi. Left in across the line, but that plays offside at the Canadian line.
Latvia having some looks. Maybe Lifshit's the best one here. Look at short side. It's available. Ivan Kovic working through the screen. Didn't really see the release. Had he hit the net, Lifshitz probably finds a way to put it behind Ivan Kovic. Yes. One of the goals for Latvia, stay in the game as long as you can. Approaching the halfway mark of the first period. Very much still in the game.
Here's Gibson on it. Banks it around to Molendyk. Off the glass and back down the ice. Carson Rakoff and Sawyer Minyo are Canada's healthy scratches again this evening. 22 skaters, 3 goaltenders on the rosters here, so you have an extra forward, extra defenseman not dressed. And of course, expanded rosters on the ice, 20 skaters as opposed to 18 in the NHL, Major Junior, North American leagues.
Pays dividends now. They have the 7th defenseman to use.
McKenna, lead pass for Pinelli moving in, shoots, pushes wide. Now back to center ice, here's Molendyk with it. Across to Bonk. Through the middle to McKenna. And ahead to Bonk, winding in with Pinelli and Cap. In comes Bonk, trying to work that free. And McKenna tried to knock that loose, but it's moved ahead to Serkins. Off the line is Cousins. Feeds that back in the corner. A lot of full cages on the ice right now for Latvia. That was knocked away from Serkins. And now brought back by Cat. Feeds it back across for Pinelli with a rolling puck. Slides it back down. It bounces back in the corner to McKenna. Now Pinelli on it. Pinelli tried to center it. That's knocked away. And it's brought out by Tom's Motts. Motts winds in, gets a step. And Ritchie stayed with him. Back at the point, that long shot taken by Riedas. That deflected wide. Now it's center ice. It's picked free by Cowan. In comes Easton Cowan for Powiecki. Cal Ritchie back in for Cowan. Spins off the boards and rolled off his stick. Cowan back on it, but it's brought back out by Osmanis. Osmanis in across the line, gets a stab, and that shot was blocked by Dickinson. Brought out by Cowan. Flips that rink wide. The pass too far for Dickinson, who had jumped up.
Cal Ritchie going off the bench slowly fell onto a skate, I think, and he's headed down the tunnel.
Now Dickinson flips that to Gibson. Gibson drops it back to Cowan. Now centered. Yager up for Price with a shot, and Philbergs makes the save. No score in the first period, and 2 Canadians have gone down the tunnel at the World Junior Hockey Championship.
More bad news for Team Canada as their #1 center, Cal Ritchie, the latest to leave the game, gets tangled up in a collision. Falls a little bit awkwardly on the back of Mirnieks, but not a lot there, but you see him get up slowly, hunch over, and heads right to the bench, and no question went right down the tunnel in some discomfort as well. So now it's Schaefer and Ritchie not on the bench for Canada.
Yager wins that face-off back to Howe. Howe from a sharp angle puts that through the crease. Now Gibson a shot that goes wide. Molendyk steps up. Molendyk feeds that down. Martone tried to center it. And it's picked off by Delevka. And Ritchie now coming back to the Canadian bench. As Yager plays that ahead. So a sigh of relief on that front. Played back in by Rathenais. Gibson with it. Andrew Gibson pivots back. With defense partner Tanner Molendyk. 2 Nashville Predators prospects. Molendyk drafted by Nashville. Gibson traded there. And Martone goes barreling over Rathenais. Lead pass finds Delevka. And here's Price on it. Reverses for Bonk. Oliver Bonk Slides out ahead for Gauthier, who chips it up. Luchenko on it. Back is Bonk with it. Cross he goes to Price. Price winds his way. His pick back. Bonk keeps it alive. Long wrist shot. Loose it. Luchenko can get a shot away. Circus spins back for Latvia. Winds his way through. Circus plays junior hockey in Switzerland. Puts that back down to the Canadian zone. Akey winds it across the line, banks it back across. And at center ice, that's controlled by McKenna. McKenna works it free and kicks it ahead. In comes McKenna, throws that rink wide. Catton winds in, crisscrossing with McKenna. Catton throws it back towards the goal, picked up by Pinelli. McKenna works it back in front, that bounced away from Catton. And the Latvians move it out. 5.5 to go here in a scoreless first period. Dickinson, rink wide pass to Pinelli. That misfires for McKenna. Victor's Kurbaka back to pick it up. Now ring back around. Matejko looking for it, but Akey knocked that away. Now Catton lost the puck. Brought him at Mernix. Mernix works in, backhand shot. And the save made, point by Kovic. Now that shot blocked by Akey. Morniaks with a great chance there for Latvia. And in comes McKenna the other way. McKenna shoots, that's blocked. And McKenna back on it. Throws it back in front, that misfired. Here's Cowan with it. Easton Cowan. Winds back in, gets a step and shoots. Felberg the save. Ritchie plays it back down to Cowan. Ritchie back on it. Cal Ritchie back out there. Feeds it back down. The pass back and forth by Molendyk, and Ritchie couldn't get the shot away. It was blocked. Osmanis stymied there by Molendyk, who raced back to break up that rush. Cowan chips it ahead to Ritchie. In comes Cal Ritchie. That's knocked away and sent down the ice by Sarts. And that's icing against the Latvians with 4 to go in the first.
Ivan Kovic hasn't been too busy. 5 shots for Latvia so far in the game, but this one by Mernix, the best one, trying to open up to go 5-hole, and that is very good stick discipline. He doesn't let it drag behind him. He keeps it covering the 5-hole, turns aside Mernix for his biggest save of the game. And sight for Canadian coaching staff is Cal Ritchie back on the bench, seemingly okay after being shaken up. Still no sign of Matthew Schaefer.
Latvia, by the way, has never led Canada at the World Junior Championship. They're having their moments internationally against the Canadians. Beat them a couple of years ago at the World Championship when Canada had 5 players stuck in quarantine entering the country. That was in Riga. And don't forget the 2014 Olympics. Remember that? Quarterfinal matchup. A knee knocker won by Canada. Back at the point is Price. Back for Howe. Moves it and shoots. Felbriggs makes the stop. 3:37 to go here in the opening period. No score between Canada and Latvia. Canada game 2-1, Canada 1. Shea Weber scored in the 3rd period to break that open. And the Latvian coach, Artis Abols, was a member of that team. Kristers Gudlevskis stopped 55 of 57 shots.
And they did the sneaky bench line change for a breakaway.
Right. Here's McKenna with it. Long shot goes just wide. Catton back on it. Back around for Pinelli. And Pinelli works that free. Sends it back across. Catton in, shoots. That was blocked. Bounces back to Akey. He finds Dickinson. Bouncing puck goes back down low. Catton. Back to Bo Akey. For Catton. Down to McKenna. And Gavin McKenna spins loose. Throws it back, but Pinelli gets a stick on that. And Felbriggs makes the stop. Catton's and there's a penalty coming. And I think it's going on Catton for the late poke.
I think it's going on Latvia.
Okay, well, Catton was arguing, but...
Well, they're pointing at... You might be right, I might be wrong. I thought it was for... You got it, Gord.
It is Catton going off.
I thought it was on Latvia for the headlock. But they got the first poke to begin with. And what has been an awkward first period for Canada. Not at all what they were expecting. Still scoreless. Not dominant by any stretch. And the officials are getting together, having a conversation about what they all saw. The puck was just kind of thrown in front. So nothing wrong there. So I don't know, that puck that's simultaneous.
Touching.
They're calling a slash, I guess, for the tap on the goaltender.
He might have missed the puck and got Feldbergs in the head, but the puck's loose. He wasn't really covered. Where does he contact Feldbergs with the attempt? Oh, into the arm. So not down to the puck. The reason why he hit him in the arm, his stick was lifted, or perhaps hooked by the Latvian defender.
So Latvians get their second power play with 3:02 to go here in the first period. And now a race for it now. And Bulan's got back to knock that away. Back down to the Canadian zone. Ivan Kovic leaves it there for Gibson. And couldn't move that back out. Howe knocked his man down and sends it down the ice. And keep an eye on number 9 for Latvia, Eric Spateko, the Washington third-round pick. They only have 2 drafted players. He's one of them. Lifshitz in across the line, drops it back to Matejko. Rink wide pass, fed back in the high slot. A hard shot there by Saratskas. That's stopped by Ivan Kovic. Back at the point, Buland plays it back. Another shot. Matejko in front, bouncing puck is loose. Ivan Kovic down and sent down the ice by Yager. And Yager heads off on a change. He's back to pick it up as Ulanskis, an Anaheim 7th-round pick. Up ahead for Delevka. Delevka feeds it back to Ulyanskis. Back across to Chilskis. That shot goes just wide. Ulyanskis. Long shot, hit a leg in front. Picked back up by Delevka. Ulyanskis winds his way in and shoots. Stop made by Ivan Kovic. And the puck kept alive. Sionskis plays it back for Delevka. Now winding in is Runieks. Runieks can't keep possession there as it bounces back to center ice. Picked up by Price. That's in behind Gauthier as time winds down in this Latvian power play and the first period. Ulyanskis winds in and shoots. Ivan Kovic to save. Ulyanskis couldn't foul the rebound and now sent down the ice by Gauthier. 2 shots for Latvia on that power play. Still scoreless here in the first. Brought out by Rietas. Gets his own shoot in, plays it in behind the goal. Perskal feeds that back. Tired penalty killers on the ice. That shot was blocked. Loose in front. Catton on the penalty box. And shipped ahead to Nadeau with Cat. Nadeau comes in. He's poke checked. Regroups at the line, but Canada was offside as Baudouin was ahead of the play.
Latvia gets down to the offensive zone. We talked about Matejko. They put the big man right in front. 6'4", 200 plus, making Ivan Kovic. Here's Bob talk about the fact that he's under 6 feet tall, so he's got to work to find the puck. Hard to say, Bulls right on top, but he could poke it in there. He would if he could. Latvia should be feeling very confident about what they've done so far in the first period.
And, you know, Coach Dave Cameron issued the warning before this game, telling the Latvians would be one of the hardest working teams in the tournament.
They can skate, physically strong.
Lifshitz with a shot from a sharp angle. That's stopped by Ivan Kovic. Lifted back to center ice and now picked up by Ritchie. Cal Ritchie winds in. Ritchie tied up at the line. Stays on it. Ritchie plays it back down to Cowan with a big hit there on Sarts. As time winds down in the period, here's Akey with it. And Canada and Latvia will go to the dressing room scoreless after the opening 20 minutes of play. It's the 49th World Junior Hockey Championship, the 35th on TSN. And our first intermission is coming up with James Duffy and the panel from Ottawa. Canadian dressing room is that Matthew Schaefer will not return tonight. Nothing beyond that. So, as Bob McKenzie mentioned, highly unlikely he was going to return. But it's official now. That's a hard shot ripped wide by Matejko. Another chance. Saved by Kovic. As Matejko got 2 good looks here in the opening seconds of the second period. Cowan chips that across to Ritchie. Nadeau bats that across to Molendyk, winding it. Drops it back to Ritchie. Cal Ritchie throws it back in front. Nadeau on it. Couldn't get a shot away. Nadeau banks it back for Cowan. Feeds it back across. Molendyk chips that across to Gibson. Gibson throws it back in the corner. Stepping up as Molendyk. Ritchie drops it back. Gibson winds and shoots. That goes off the skate of the Latvian defender, Saratskas. At center ice, Gibson had it knocked away. Matejko plays out ahead, but it's batted down by Nadeau. He's got 2 singles on this shift. Cowan has a skip by him. Long shot taken there by Kurbaka, goes off a leg. And away comes Jagger. The Canadian captain for Cowan. Drops it back for Jagger. For Cowan. Now back at the point, here's Price. Getting lots of questions about Jagger. He does say it that way, not Jaeger. So he's asked for Jagger. And the puck is loose and Jagger can't quite reach it. Brought back out by Delevka. And a bouncing puck glove there by Ivan Kovic. Played around to Bond. Rink wide pass by Martone, whose neck guard is dangling. In comes Martone with it. Bounces back. Jagger a shot. That's stopped by Feldberg. And Martone, it looks like he's a ponytail for a moment.
His bandana's hanging out of his helmet.
Now brought back by Kautsat. In across the line, drops that back. Long shot taken there by Gerskowns. Ivan Kovic to save. Pinelli. Lead pass for Cat. Winding in, feeds it across. McKenna moves it and shoots. Feldberg's got a piece of that. Love down by Dickinson. Rink wide he goes. Cat works it and shoots. Feldberg's the save. McKenna digs it back out. Feeds that back. The long shot taken there by Akey was knocked away. Well, Akey had just 2.5 minutes of ice time in the opener for Canada. He'll get more tonight now. As Catton winds in. Trying to feed that back across. It goes off a couple of sticks. Knocked down by McKenna. What a hands play by McKenna. Back in the corner. Feeds it down to Pinelli. Pinelli winds through. Pinelli. Oh, what a move. Pinelli moves it and shoots out wide. Now Dickinson with it. And we got a penalty coming here.
A high stick to Catton.
So his second penalty of the game.
He's battling in front of that with Serkins. He doesn't like that one either. He didn't like the first slash on the goalie.
Team Canada, number 14, 2-minute high sticking.
That was a good shift for Canada. They were snapping it around. Oh, there it is. Yeah, he kind of comes down as he's getting bumped and accidentally catches Latvian player. Here's Pinelli dancing up top. 1, 2, 3. Trying to go short side. Quite a bit wide on that one, but that was better. Puck support to the net, puck retrieval, time in the ozone. That's what Canada's looking for.
Third power play for Latvia so far in the game. So Canada's been shorthanded 8 times in the first 5 periods. Molendyk off the face-off win by Luchenko. Sent down the ice by Gibson. Andrew Gibson just looks like a pro, doesn't he? Now a chance short-handed for Luchenko. Busting in. Jet Luchenko in alone. Score! Short-handed goal. And Canada leads 1-0.
Did they ever need that? Luchenko turns it over. Now, Feldberg, you got to come for this. You're going to get a puck at the hash marks first. He's frozen in net. He doesn't make the decision. And then Luchenko, look at the shoulder check. How much time do I have?
All
the time in the world. freezes Felberg by stopping and then just pulls it to the backhand. There's no backward motion for Felbergs, and that's what A-Balls is thinking. Just come and get the puck. Luchenko picked that puck up almost at the hash marks.
The youngest Philadelphia Flyer ever when he began the season in the NHL.
When we pulled the Canadian players who the fastest skater is, it was Molendijk or is Luchenko. He showed it there.
Does anyone on this team have a more appropriate first name than Jet Luchenko? So a short-handed goal gives Canada the lead. And Latvia remains on the power play here for a minute and a half. Back in the corner it goes. Horniaks spins that down to Sionkas. Sionkas moves it and shoots, and Ivan Kovac got a piece of that. Sionkas moves that ahead. Ivan Kovac out to play it. And Bonk sends it down the ice. We talked earlier about Jimmy Waite being the first 17 or the last 17-year-old to play for Canada in goal at the World Junior. Of course, his tournament in '87 ended in the Piastani punch-up. Not saying that Ivan Kovac will recreate that, but he does have a fighting major this year. Osmanis. From a sharp angle, shoots. Ivan Kovac to save. And Cataford sends it down the ice. And Luchenko comes screaming in again and almost disrupted that. Osmanis feeds it back across for Sratskas. Time winding down in this power play for Latvia. That pass is picked off by Gibson. Up ahead for Nadeau. And he finds Luchenko. Back for Nadeau. And shoots. It's off the stick. Up and out of play. One shot for the Latvians on the power play, but one goal for Canada.
Well, that's the kill they needed. Bring some energy. Here you get one more look at it. Turnover by Luchenko, and he's off to the races. I love the idea of checking to see how much time you have before you make the move, but a better view is Felberg's. Should I go? I gotta go. And then he just slams on the brakes, and he would have made that puck so easily. And yet, he doesn't. He waits, and the Canadian families finally get to celebrate a goal. Has Canada up 1-0. Short-handed, no less. If you're going to play in the NHL for John Tortorella as a rookie, you're going to need to know how to play defense a little bit. That's one of the reasons Luchenko stayed in the NHL.
Never mind, an 18-year-old. It's a 38-year-old. He better know how to play defense. It's not optional there. Pinelli plays that back for Akey. Now Pinelli has that knocked away. Bob McKenzie making the point, by the way, in the first intermission, that Canada has not named all of its players. There are open spots. So we describe players like Soromini with healthy scratches. They're not actually officially on the roster yet. You can add players right up into the medal round. Here's Akey. Back across to Molendijk. Feeds it down to Cat. Back in front. Molendijk, a hard shot. Felberg save. Rebound. McKenna turned away. Looked like Retanai's going to stick on that. Catton picks it free again. On the line. Keeps it alive. McKenna. Going to send it back in front. Felberg's quickly gloves. That a whack by Pinelli there. And that draws a crowd in the corner.
Someone's got to get a penalty out of here, given everything else that's been called.
There's going to be at least one.
Are they going to give the first guy Pinelli again?
Yeah, they're taking two here, I think.
Yeah, everyone going to go. Coincidental minors.
Canada's got the lead thanks to 18-year-old Jet Luchenko, the native of London, Ontario. A short-handed goal to make it 1-0 here in Ottawa.
Score, Jet Luchenko, as you see, just 18 years old from London and picked by Philadelphia this summer. Was not expecting to make the team and yet was able to get a few games.
Yeah, played 4 games with him. And his family looking on. They love the letter J. There's Dad Jim. Mom Joan in front of the black hat. Sister Jenna. Brother Jace. That's in the black hat top left. So J. Luchenko won't narrow it down any for you.
No, we need more initials after that. Jet doing a number. That's a big goal to get some energy back on the bench and back in the building.
So it is offsetting minor penalties. Cowan works in, holds, feeds that down for Ritchie. Cowan was spilled, and a penalty coming to Latvia. Nadeau plays it back to Price. In comes Price with it. Walks in, little back pass there, drops it back to Bob. Couldn't get a shot away. And now McKenna back with it. McKenna feeds that down for Price. The pass too hot to handle. Price back with it. Feeds that back. Nadeau too far for McKenna. Final Latvians touch up, and we got a power play for Canada with 6:46 gone in the second.
We're going to see Canada head to the power play after some coincidental minors, which here stays 5-on-5 on the previous whistle. And Canada works
number 12, 2 minutes, tripping.
a face-off play, because guess who's playing right defense? That's Easton Cowan, starting in the right defense spot because he's trying to isolate one-on-one against his defender. That's Tom Motz, a forward, and he's out there in no man's land, lots of time and space. Little slash from the ankle, down goes Cowan, and onto the power play goes Canada. Another little wrinkle in the offensive zone face-offs. Get Canada a good situation.
And 0 for 1 tonight, 0 for 4 so far in the tournament.
Wanted to re-rack everything, switch it up, simplify.
Out for the face-off. That's banked back by Bonk and back down the ice.
Tickets for tripping. They're to pull off of the machines.
Oliver Bonk. Up for Nadeau, winding in. Rink wide, he goes for Ritchie. Corrals that pass and drops it back for Cowan. Set up by Ernie Hicks. Now Cowan. Banks it back down to Ritchie. Cal Ritchie walks in. Gets a lane and shoots. Played back by Howe. To Bonk. Across to Cowan. Feeds it back to Bonk for Ritchie. Winding in. Can't get a shot away. Ritchie gathers the puck back up. Winds the other way for Nadeau. To Cowan. Crisscrossing with Bonk. Cowan has a look. Feeds it back to the goal mouth. Howe. To Cowan. Winds in again. Cowan, long wrist shot. Feldberg save. They battle for the rebound. And the Latvian netminder has it.
Tanner Howe's out in the power play to be around the front of the net. You got Nadeau down there. And when Cowan and Ritchie and Bonk are being so fluid up top, it's hard to maintain your screens. So when is he going to shoot it? When do I have to get into the eyes of the goaltender? It's hard to hang in there the entire time while also being an option. Nadeau sort of off to the side. And then finally the shot comes in. Feldberg's able to see it and make the save.
Hey, oh, easy, 23.
So easy.
Guys, easy.
Am I going easy on? I'm trying to score a goal here. You ease up.
Off the face-off, controlled by Latvia. Martonen on it. Held to the line by McKenna. Great steal by Gavin McKenna. He's sent flying. That's brought back out by Dahmers. Valdis Dahmers. Lost the puck to Jagr. Plays that back to Molendyk.
Look out.
Drop back for McKenna. A race for it. McKenna takes it away from Dahmers. Cat. Up ahead for Jagr. McKenna takes a whack at that. Reaching for it is Jagr. Plays it back to Molendyk. Martone. Molendyk. Jagr. Feeds it back down. Walking right on his cat with a shot. Feldberg save. Jagr back on it for Molendyk. Rossi goes to McKenna. Long shot goes high. Jagr back with it. Walks in, feeds that down to Cat. Bounces back to Molendyk. Final seconds of the power play. 2 shots for Canada on the man advantage. Jagr plays it back to Molendyk. Walks in and shoots. Feldberg's got a piece of that. He's got no goal stick. Molendyk back with it. For Jagr. Back across to McKenna. Spins and shoots. Feldberg save. And he's finally got his goal stick back. Molendyk. Back across to Aki. Now Molendyk a shot. Feldberg makes the save and hangs on with his team under siege.
Second unit, a bit better than the first for Canada at the tail end of the power play. Creating some looks. It's a action in the slot area. It's not quite quick enough on the releases as Feldberg has dropped his sticks several times in this game. Getting some help from his defender Krabaka to get it. It's on backwards, but figures it out.
Feldberg's played one game last year at the World Junior. It was against Canada. He got pulled after allowing 7 goals in the first 31 shots.
He's feeling pretty good about his game so far tonight.
Rarely got a second crack at the World Junior Championship. Held at the line by Luchenko. Gautier's shot. Feldberg's the save. Played back in by Dickinson. Baudouin with it. Big free by Gauthier. Banks it back to Dickinson. Across he goes to Akey. That long shot gloved by Feldbergs. And he'll hang on.
Financial goals. At Fidelity, we know that everyone's got them and they're all different. But the one thing we share, we all want to get to them sooner.
Leonards Feldbergs, 18-year-old, battling in the Latvian goal. We've seen so many really good Latvian goaltenders relative to the country's size in the last 10 years or so.
Well, the fact that Feldbergs plays in the Quebec League gives him a degree of confidence that he's seen some of these players before. Familiarity.
Galevka moves in. That's gloved. And Ivan Kovic hangs on to that.
So I think we know what we're going to see out of Latvia in this game. And so it's up to Canada to adjust. Latvia is not going to engage on the forecheck. They're not going to get caught in deep. They are going to pile back 5 in the neutral zone. They're going to collapse down to the front of the net, and it's on Canada to find solutions to that kind of defense.
Jagger for the face-off in the defensive zone again last night. He was 14-1 on draws against the Finns. That one tied up, and Martone with a winger win on that face-off. Porter Martone tried to slide that ahead and switch it back down to the Latvian zone. Uljanskas plays his junior hockey in Sweden. As that shoot in by Matejko goes off a stick. Up and out of play. 9:51 to go here in the second period. Jet Luchenko from London, Ontario has a short-handed goal to put Canada ahead 1-0 at the World Junior Hockey Championship. Talked about history being made here at the World Junior. Jack Ivankovic, the youngest goalie to start for Canada since 1988. He's the second youngest ever. The youngest was Terry Wright for Peterborough in the 1980 tournament. That's before Canada began sending national teams, so it was the Peterborough Pete's Club team with a couple of additions. Canada started sending national teams in 1982 to the World Junior Championship.
But it offers perspective on how unusual this is.
This is
uncharted territory.
Yeah. Howe went right through his man as he bumped into Sarts. Now brought back by Bearskow. Long shot put wide of the goal. Bonk lost his stick. Now Price falls in the corner. Lifshitz plays it around. Krabaka spins away from Howe. Long shot goes wide from Saratskas. Canada can't clear it out. Bouncing puck in front. The shot was blocked. Now Krabaka back with it. In the corner for Saratskas. Winds across the top and shoots, and through the traffic, Ivan Kovic makes the save.
Ivan Kovic, surprisingly, has had to be relatively sharp and busy. There's some breakdowns early, good opportunities, and he has been aggressive. We mentioned his size, where he's maybe not as big as some modern goaltenders, 6'1", 6'2". He's down at 5'11", almost 6 feet. Plays on top of his crease, and he is lightning quick. And when you talk to him, when you get around him, he is also full of self-belief. Not arrogance, but just confidence that he is capable, which you have to have.
Back at the point. Rieta said that knocked away. It's brought back by Pinelli. For McKenna. Rink wide for
That's a hook.
Sam Dickinson. He was brought down. Penalty coming to Latvia. McKenna. Crisscrossing with Cat. The extra skater comes on. It's Ritchie. Cat winds it back in front. Pass bounces across to Ritchie. Plays it back for Dickinson. Sam Dickinson feeds it back for Akey. Looks back to McKenna with a shot. Felberg save. Rebound loose in front. Latvia still has enough possession. And Dickinson gathers it up. Back across to McKenna. Feeds it down to Dickinson. McKenna works in again. That shot blocked, and finally the penalty coming, and Canada's going back to the power play.
Good job by Sam Dickinson joining the rush to draw the hook.
Team Latvia, play number 13, 2 minutes for the holding.
Dickinson beats his guy up the ice. Hookins gets the arm in and takes down Dickinson, and Abel says we don't turn pucks over or else we get ourselves in trouble. And a separator in a game like this for Canada should be their power play. They're able to cash on 1 or 2 of these opportunities. It's a different feeling kind of game.
0 for 5 and counting in the tournament.
All this talent, strange.
Jagger wins that face-off back, but it's not done fairly.
Number 13.
Fed back down to the Canadian zone as Molendyk goes back to pick it up. Molendyk winds through center ice with a head of steam. Here comes Tanner Molendyk. Back in the corner, feeds that back for Jagger. Swings a rink wide to McKenna. Evan McKenna works it down to the goal line. Martone, Molendyk. Back around for Jagger. Flips out in the corner for Cat. Back to Jagger. Now, Latvia defended with a stick, and it was kicked ahead by Sionskis to a teammate to send it down the ice. And quickly up the ice goes Ivankovic. Ivankovic rather, for McKenna. Plays it back to Jagger. Works it back across. That's skipped away from Cat. McKenna slides it back to Jagger. Takes the return pass from Cat. McKenna works it as a look and shoots. Tick off the outside of the post.
Whips that wrister.
Jagger back with it. Inside a minute to go on the power play. McKenna slides it down. Here's Cat. Back to Jagger. Jagger to McKenna. Shoots. That goes wide. And McKenna back on it. Winds through and shoots. That was blocked. Kept alive by Molendyk. Now fed back across to McKenna. Latvia defender with a stick now. Here's Cat. Moves it back to Molendyk. Works around that stick. Feeds it back across to McKenna. McKenna back for Jagger. Shoots. Blocked in front. Rebound. Baudouin turned away. Jagger back on it. Feeds that back to McKenna for Molendyk. Crisscrossing with Jagger across the top. McKenna back to Jagger. Walks it and shoots. Gets the rebound. Fires it wide. Jagger back on it. Loose at the side of the goal. And now Catton back with it. One shot for Canada on the power play. Back to 5-on-5. Molendyk pivots back around. Down to Baudouin as Canada changes. Ritchie comes on the ice. Baudouin swings it back across to Price. Trying to thread that through. Baudouin works for it. Exhausted Latvians on the ice now. Bonk. Back for Cowan with a long shot that goes wide. Plays with a chance. He hammered it wide. And the puck goes up and out. And finally the Latvians will get a break. 1-0 Canada leads. Evan McKenna comes close on the power play.
Elite players create and shoot. Gavin McKenna is certainly that. Smaller guy, he uses a 60 flex stick just so he can sling it. And had one opportunity off the post you mentioned. Here's the rebound for Jagger that just sailed wide, and the best chance in the last power play as that unit was out there the full 2 minutes, but only the one shot on net.
Canada out shooting Latvia 11-0 the last 9.5 minutes. And now Ritchie in for the face-off. Tomorrow Latvia takes on the United States. Canada back in action against Germany 2 days from now. Brought up by Vernieks. Wide of Ivankovic. Bonk. Back across to Price. Caden Price. Lead pass to Bonk. Oliver Bonk chips that in. Cowan tried to work that free and does. Got spun around behind the goal. Cowan puts it back in front. Hard shot by Nadeau goes wide. Ritchie chops at it. And now flipped in the air by Mornieks.
Good.
Cowan takes that return pass. It's knocked down by Saradzkas. S on the end of Latvian names very common to the point where when Bob Hartley from Canada coached the Latvian national team, they called him Bob's Hartleys. In comes Luchenko. That's a delayed offside at the Latvian line.
These refs have shown the willingness to take just one, so I would be mindful in a 1-0 game. As chippy and emotional as you want to be, Easton Cowan certainly is that as a catalyst for Canada to get in there too late as Luchenko throws himself offside, doesn't quite handle it cleanly. Gets bumped after the whistle. That's going to irritate you for sure, but Luchenko seemed fine with it before Cowan came in, and as he often does, looks to stir it up a little bit after the fact. These games are very frustrating for Canadian players. When you think you should win, when you think you should be up by a lot, you can't quite figure out what's going on. Just searching inside your head for solutions, patterns on the ice that would work better.
Luchenko pulls that free. Pass ahead to Martone was deflected, so no icing. Sards goes back. Matthew Cataford back across to Gibson. Plays it back down to Luchenko. Jet Luchenko winds across the top and shoots, and that got through. Feldberg's knocked that away. Kept by Dickinson, long shot. Feldberg's the stop on that. Now losing the side of the goal, poked free by Luchenko, back to the line, held by Dickinson. Sam Dickinson for Cataford. Back for Dickinson, a hard shot, went wide. Cataford back with it. Held to the line by Gibson. Andrew Gibson winds in, clubs that down. Gibson back on it. Holds and drops it back to Cataford. Luchenko drops that back for Cataford. At the line, long shot by Gibson. And Feldbergs makes the save through the screen of Ethan Gauthier.
And Gauthier and Sarts continue a battle that had been about 45 seconds straight. Look at these two guys just working each other for position. Fought the puck. One guy trying to touch it, one guy trying to defend it. It's good stuff. This is how you do it. You want to go score goals, Gauthier goes to where he has to. You want to stop a guy, Sarts doing the same thing. Fronting while also boxing out. It's good defense and a good battle all the way to the whistle.
That's exhausting to watch. Bounces back to Akey. Kitchener, Ontario native. Now Molenbeek a shot. And the save made by Feldbergs. Ethan Gauthier, native of Drummondville, where he plays junior. Played the Memorial Cup last year for them. He's a second-round pick by Tampa in 2023. His dad, Denny, played 10 NHL seasons and won a gold medal for Canada at the 1996 World Junior in Boston.
And was a tremendous roommate to one Mike Johnson on the road for a couple of years with Arizona.
And you guys did not have an issue with the TV remote, is that correct?
No, Monday and Wednesdays were his. Wrestling.
Okay,
not my
the
cup of tea.
Gauthier family are legendary wrestlers in Quebec.
Lots of actual family members were professional wrestlers, so he got the remote those 2 nights, and I got the other 5.
Okay, but to be clear, if Denny had wanted it the other night,
he could have had anything he wanted if he asked for it.
Here's Pinelli back with it. Feeds that back to Molenbeek, a shot that goes wide. Brought out by Dahmers. Ozalapa lays that back around. That shot goes wide despite the edge in play. Still a 1-0 game. Molenbeek taps it back around for Akey. Bo Akey. Flings it back across for Molenbeek. That was Poke check to the Latvian line, and Molendijk tries it again and fires it back down to the Latvian zone. Inside 3 to go here in the second. Feldbergs plays it around. Jagger tries to play that back in front, but it's knocked down by Motts. Tom's Motts. Winds in, the puck rolls away, and that was chipped away by Pinelli. At the point, Golance. That shot fanned on, and Pinelli back on it. Winds back and flips it across to Price. Caden Price pivots back as Canada's changing. Goes across to Pinelli. Winds in across the Latvian line. That's poke checked away. Price drops that back for Bonk. Lead pass for Howe missed, and icing called against Canada.
Canada now 31-12 in shots with the last 15 in a row. And yet I don't think Latvia cares one bit. They are delighted with how this game is going. Look at Dave Cameron. Whoa. Getting on his bench. And that speaks to the lack of execution that he is seeing through the neutral zone on the entries to get the forecheck going. That's as hot as we've seen him this tournament.
Bonk off the face-off win by Jagger. Plays it ahead. Knocked down by Howe.
Can't touch it.
Hand pass.
I mean, Tanner, you know you knocked it over there. You got to go get it before anybody else touches it. Be locked in mentally. These little details. Face-off will come back to center. And I'm watching Dave Cameron on the bench and I'm watching the line combinations to see if he is exploring changing some lines, trying to get a different look, so maybe get a spark as this game wears along.
Loose at center ice. That's knocked down by Cataford, who plays it rink wide. Lifshitz plays it ahead. That shot was blocked. Delevka had it stopped by Gibson. Now Delevka back with it. Spins and shoots. Kicked out by Kovic. Cataford banks it off the glass. Back out to center ice. And the lead pass goes to Jagger. In comes Jagger with a big shoot. And Feldbergs might have got a piece of that. But Jagger just missed. Jagger back on it. Knocked down by Cataford. His shot was blocked. Jagger leaves it back for Gibson. Down to Jagger. Cross for Dickinson. Shoots. Feldberg save. Rebound. Howe couldn't reach it. He was tied up. Cataford plays it back for Dickinson. His shot goes wide. Lifshitz back on it. He falls behind the net. And picked up by Ulyanskas. Brought back now by Nadeau. Rink wide he goes for Cowan. Holds and shoots. Feldberg's got a blocker on that. Cowan fires and Feldbergs makes the glove save and hangs on. 46 seconds to go in the period.
A couple mini breaks for Canada as they get a couple odd man rushes. Remember last game, Easton Cowan waiting for the goalie to pull off the post and going short side? He was waiting for the same, except Feldbergs waited him out, stayed square, made a nice save, and Jagger out of the air, and a quick release. Sails high and wide past Feldbergs, trying to catch him with the early shot. Just got away from him a little bit.
Latvia went nearly 14 minutes between shots in the second period.
And yet Latvia would say, well, Canada's gone 40 minutes with just one goal.
Right.
So we're okay with where we're at.
Batted back to center ice. Cowan back to pick it up. Takes a quick look at the clock. Feeds it back across for Molendijk. Molendijk up ahead to Aki.
No, it's good.
Aki lifts that back down to the Latvian zone as Sarts goes back. Picked up by Matejko. Eric's Matejko. Works in, fans on the first try. Aki slams him into the corner. Work free for Cowan. Away with Nadeau. And Ritchie jumping in. Lead pass for Nadeau. Back for Cowan. Out the other side of Ritchie. That skipped away from him. Boulans winds across the Canadian line. Feeds it in as time winds down. Boulans looking for it. And Canada, thanks to the short-handed goal from Jet Luchenko, will go to the dressing room with a 1-0 lead, and finally won it 5-2. And now off the draw, brought in that long shot, whistled wide by Osmanus. Nadeau bounces back to Ritchie. In comes Cal Ritchie across for Nadeau. Rink wide pass for Cowan, just out of his reach. Cowan down to Ritchie. And Matejko moves out ahead, knocked down by Molendyk, and Nadeau back with it. And away comes Nadeau, in across the Latvian line, drops that back to Cowan. Cowan, a long shot, hit a leg in front as Latvia's Harris Sionskis gotten away. That is a skate in front of the Latvian bench. Uljanskas brings it back the other way for Latvia. Uljanskas winds in, gets around Catton and shoots, bouncing puck in front. Ivan Kovac got a piece of the first shot. Now the rebound sent ahead to McKenna. In comes McKenna with Cowan trying to flip that ahead, and a scorpion stop there by the Latvian defender. Shot his leg up to block that pass.
You nailed it.
That was Kerbaka.
A scorpion by a defender on a 2-on-1. A little high five from his goalie for Kerbaka and his efforts. He coined this one. Look at this. Get it up and take a piece. That was intentional too. He was looking at the puck. He wasn't just doing it blind. And that's McKenna. He's got a 1.5 feet in the air. Well done by Kerbaka. And this is to start the third period. All the Latvian players up, banging their stick. Let's go. We're ready. We're in this game.
Hey, listen, you and I have been there a couple of times. We've watched Latvia internationally for years at the Olympics, the senior level. Great, passionate fans. Some of the best international hockey fans in the world, and passionate players.
They lay it on the line.
Yeah.
They know that they have to play a certain style with a certain degree of emotion and physical commitment to have a chance against the top countries. And from teenage on to men's to women's, whatever, this is how Latvia plays the game, and it gives them a chance to be competitive.
And they have scattered to the 4 wins since their domestic league collapsed, and the teams under those top-level teams went out as well. So these players don't see each other a lot, but they put on that uniform, and they've been tough at a lot of levels for a lot of years. Pinelli off the face-off win, chips that back to Price. In comes McKenna, shoots, and Feldberg's got a piece of that. McKenna back on it, bring back around, help by Bonk. Pass too far for McKenna. Not to ice. Banks it back to center ice. Price back across to Bonk. Lead for McKenna. Just chip there for Cap. That was knocked away. Cloud Sands moves out ahead and shot back in by Sirkins. Bonk. Lead pass for Catton winding in. That'll be a tight turnaround to tomorrow. Night game tonight, afternoon game tomorrow against the United States. We saw that earlier today with the Finns against Germany. They played the night game against Canada. Then this afternoon against the Germans. Oh, no! There's a Laffer. Lines his back around. Sam Dickinson on it. Latvian stick went flying as Aki brings the puck back out for Canada. Snaps that pass ahead. Chipped in by Howe. And back goes Uljanskas. Aki kicks that ahead. And Catafort drops it back. Aki swings that back to Sam Dickinson. And Catafort chips it back down to the Latvian zone. Uljanskas. Plays for AIK Stockholm's junior program. In comes Baudouin with a chance. Just rolled off his stick. Oh, Baudouin back with it. Winds across and shoots. Feldberg's got the end of his stick on that. Luchenko centers it. Hard shot by Baudouin. Feldberg's got just a piece of that. And Luchenko couldn't hold the line as Molendyk is back with it. And that flip goes off the stanchion of the Canadian bench, and play is called.
So if you're wondering, if you're watching Canada, say, where's the speed to the neutral zone? Here's Aki picks up the puck. Look where the forwards are. They're all 100 feet away from him. And then by the time he gets a pass to them, they're standing still, which means no speed for any kind of forecheck. Same thing. 3 forwards standing dead still in the neutral zone. They can chip it in, go for a line change. One guy can stretch, but not all 3 guys can stretch. Someone has to come back to the puck and attack with speed with the defenders to give Latvia to think about, something to think about.
Back goes Price for it. Brings it back around to Nadeau. For Ritchie. Ritchie hooks it back for Nadeau. To Ritchie. Rink wide he goes for Nadeau, winding in. Drops that back for Cowan. Couldn't get a shot away. Now Nadeau back with it. Looks back across for Bonk with traffic. Bonk shoots. Goes way wide. Tipped by Ritchie. Nadeau. Back for Price. Caden Price winds his way in. Looks back towards the front of the goal. Nothing but Latvians in front of him. Now Cowan has it. And Cowan pivots back. Lifshitz couldn't knock it out. And Price plays it back in for Ritchie. Bouncing puck got away from him, but Lifshitz again can't clear it out. Ritchie tight ropes the blue line. Works his way in. Ritchie stays on it. A clinic of puck protection by Ritchie. In shoots. Feldberg save. A little whack there by Cowan. But Feldberg has it.
Oh, Ritchie was just hanging on to it by the blue line under duress. Tight roping, keeping it alive. Good hands and confidence, even though he's got some pretty good defense bothering him. Able to finally get off the boards and get it down to the net. It's the right idea. Traffic in front. Feels like Canada needs a tip. All these shots that are getting drifted down to the net, someone's got to get a piece of one. Because right now, Feldberg's seeing it. Sometimes when he's not, he's still stopping it.
Pinelli banks it back around to Molendyke. Cat back to Gibson, a shot that goes high. Molendyke plays it back around for Pinelli. In the high slot for Cat, and that's knocked away. And brought back up by Serkins.
Coming up to Pinelli, a penalty.
Yeah, they're going to call here. And so with 15:10 to go, it'll be Pinelli who goes off for Canada.
And this is where the 1-0 lead gets tight.
Minor penalty.
Puck's turned over, someone's trying to dance through, and he definitely reached out and grabbed them. Certainly Serkins goes down. I mean, you grab on, you're going to get a penalty.
So the shots in the last 20 minutes of this game are 21-1 for Canada. It's a 1-0 game, and Latvia is going to the power play. Latvia 0 for 3 with 6 shots so far, and they've looked dangerous at times.
What's interesting is Matejko, their best offensive player, they're putting him right in front.
Luchenko does have a short-handed goal on the Latvian power play. At the side of the goal, that's frozen for a moment. Gibson pulls it out and can't clear it out. Howe reaching for it. Bouncing puck goes to Lifshitz. Takes the return pass. Winds that back. Luchenko got a stick on it and feeds it back down to the Latvian zone and heads off. Lifshitz. Luchenko trying to wind in, and Jagger moves that down the ice. If you've ever wondered what 18,000 nervous people sound like, this might be it. Boulans plays it back down for Matejko. The pass too far for him. And on the line, Boulans couldn't hold it. And that's a regroup at center ice. Inside a minute to go on the Latvian power play. Delevka. Jumps in onside, plays it back around. Goche on it. Caden Price with time, sends it back down. Uljanskis. Batted in by Sionskis. Delevka. Moves that back on a centering pass and a quick chance there for Murnieks. That was stopped by Kovac. Willianskis back with it. Final seconds of the power play. Feeds it back across and a hard shot taken by Sionskis. That was stopped by Kovac. On comes Pinelli. 2 shots for Latvia on the power play. And Price back to pick it up.
One really good look to Murnieks, though. A little bumper play.
Now Ritchie in, shoots, and a pad save by Feldberg. We welcome those of you who've been watching the PWHL on TSN3. Here in Ottawa, 1-0 Canada leading Latvia in the 3rd period. Jetlichenko has the only goal, shorthanded, in the 2nd period. Cowan, Nadeau, back for Ritchie, a shot that goes wide. Berskow winds in on Dickinson, and back comes Icky to take that away. Back at the point. Sarts works it in, shoots. That goes high and wide. Back at the point, knocked up by Nadeau, who was almost off to the races. Cowan tried to wind in. That's knocked down by Berskow and played back down to the Canadian zone. Dickinson. Lead for McKenna, who knocks that down. Back goes Rathenice to pick it up. Gibson plays it back in for Pinelli. In behind the goal. Cat tries to chip that ahead. Cat for Pinelli. That's knocked down. But the puck squirts free to Osmanis. Osmanis flips it back across. Jumping against Kerbaka with a shot. And Molendyk got in the way of that. Molendyk. That little chip was knocked away, and away comes Catton with it. Berkeley Catton spins back. Winds back across, flips that down to McKenna. That goes wide. Here's Catton with it. Catton swings it back across. McKenna walks it and shoots. And that was blocked again by Kerbaka. 1-0 Canada leads. Nervous moments.
The team calls him Mustache Boy. Andrew Gibson's standout mustache, credited to his European roots by his mom Diane, started last November with his billet dad Brent Edwards and Sault Ste. Marie. Brent sheepishly admitted that Andrew grew the better mustache, and so Andrew's kept it ever since. The Edwards family, Kristen, Brent, Ethan, and Kenzie, proudly attended the NHL draft to hear Andrew's name called, and so they knew they'd be here at the World Juniors too. His biggest fan, billet sister Kenzie, wears number 6 back home with her hockey team to be just like Andrew.
And the legend grows.
As does the mustache. And his importance on this team,
Now,
potentially as well.
for just joining us, early injury to defenseman Matthew Schaefer, the 17-year-old phenom who was one of Canada's top players. Now Cowan shot that's blocked. Will not return tonight. His status beyond that, not yet determined, but it didn't look great. Long shot by Molendyk goes wide. Now Nadeau plays it in for Cowan. Back for Ritchie with a shot. Feldberg to stop. Back at the point is Gibson with it. Gibson plays that back to Cowan. Crisscrossing with Ritchie. Ritchie a shot. Feldberg looks back. The referee says no goal. Ritchie had a close look.
I see Feldberg shaking his head. No, no, no. I got that one in time as a rare shot from the slot for Canada. Ritchie had a couple different looks. First one's a one-timer, then he walks one, rolls it off the post, and no, Boulans is right there as well to make sure that that doesn't trickle across. Thought a lot of the post was rolling back towards it, but no, both the glove and the stick of Boulans making sure that this game stays just 1-0. Certainly this game has gone much different for Feldbergs than the one last year, where he got pulled halfway through.
Got a timing issue sorted out now. Catton will step in. I guess Murnieks.
Not yet.
Still a clock issue here. Ah.
The play's under review.
Okay.
So it looked to me like Fellberg's got his glove behind it very quickly. Now, in the process of falling back, did the puck under the glove get across the goal line? No, Richie doesn't seem to think so.
Off the post, off his back,
So
off his leg.
So as he's falling back in there's a little drift back towards, this is the best look we're going to get at it. He clearly gets his glove on it before it gets across the line. Clearly.
You need an MRI to figure that out.
And it feels like the puck is somewhere behind the white portion of his glove, around the wrist. And I didn't see a lot of momentum. And unless you have an X-ray, I'm not sure how we're going to find where that puck is relative to the goal line once this happens.
Boulans is kind of poking at it, which might have actually knocked it in, but you can't tell.
You see I think you can almost see the puck there when he started standing up, and it was still just sitting on the goal line. So I don't think this one is going to count.
This was initiated by the video goal judge, this review.
And that's just because he felt it was close enough to warrant a second look. And lots of different looks at it. I don't think this is going to count.
After video review, call on the ice stands, we have no goal.
All right, so
better to be sure. If it drifted across, you think about a game that's this tight or a medal round game, you want to make sure to get it right. That one wasn't too hard. Fellberg's good night continues. Up to 40 shots on goal now for Canada.
And Fellberg's has stopped the last 24 he's faced.
And he just stepped out off the line. He would have been able to thwart the breakaway by getting to the puck first.
5-on-5, it's been fairly even at stretches.
Canada has the puck a lot, but they're not creating great chances.
McKenna knocks down that clearing attempt, tries to drop it back. And brought back by Moniacs. In across the line comes Kerbaka with a shot. Glove by Ivan Kovic. And hang on to that.
It's no problem for Ivan Kovic. That is Kerbaka joining. It was a 3-on-3. It was well sorted out. McKenna communicating with his two defensemen to come back and make sure that he takes the wide guy. See him pointing. Box going over to cut off the stop up, and you trust your goalie. He's going to save that 100 out of 100 times.
Kerbaka plays
makes no mistake.
The Czech Junior League. And a couple of good shot blocks here tonight. Been a stout defender. Off the face-off, it's knocked back for Kerbaka. Couldn't hold it. Now it's knocked down by Luchenko. Or Janskis. Out to center ice, knocked down by Gibson. And Gibson tries to move out ahead for Baudouin. Picked up by Luchenko, rink wide for Molendyk. In counter Tanner Molendyk. Throws it back in front. Fellberg's the stop on Baudouin, who is busting in. Now Baudouin gets a stick on that, knocks it free. And Gautier's pass is picked off by Sarts. Back comes Saradzkis. Back at the point, that's picked off by Baudouin. End of a long shift for him. He gains center ice and sweeps it down. Past the midway point of the third period. Dickinson banks out the center ice. Thrown down by Howe. Chipped in by California. Jagger after it. Now brought back up. Moutsands works it and shoots. And the stop is made by Ivan Kovic. 9:08 to go in the third period. 1-0 Canada leads.
Canada continues to try to solve this Latvian defense, searching for a insurance goal. Molendyk recognized right away what he wants to do here. Just find a way to get it to the front, to Baudouin driving, getting one hand on it, and he does a nice job get across, but Sartz does just enough to bother Baudouin so that he can't elevate it over top of Feldberg's. You know, pick and choose your spots in a game this close. 9 minutes left. If your defenseman went to activate, that was a good time for Molendyk to go.
Brought in by Sionskis 30 years ago. The 95 World Junior, one of the most famous pitches by a defenseman, Jamie Rivers, a.k.a. the Rivers Boat Gambler. In the last year of the straight round robin format, against the Czechs, jumped up as the bench yelled, "No, no!" and then he scored. In comes Gauthier. Ethan Gauthier shoots. That's gloved by Feldberg. Tanner Molendyk, such a great skater from McBride, BC. We mentioned one of the smallest communities ever represented by a Canadian junior player. Under 500 people. It's actually closer to Jasper, Alberta than anywhere else. Kind of halfway between Jasper and Prince George, BC. First round pick by Nashville in 2023.
And he knows all too well about the disappointment in being injured last year. Hurt his wrist in a pre-competition game. Was not able to play for Canada, and they missed him greatly.
Gold medalist of the Hlinka Gretzky Cup in 2022. 19 of these Canadian players have won an under-18 gold medal, either at the Hlinka Gretzky Summer Tournament or the IHF Spring Under-18 Tournament. Molendyk to Ritchie. Molendyk moved in deep, and now Cowan with it. Cowan plays it back. Saratskis. Long shoot and goes wide. Now racing to it is Gibson. Canada with a 17-year-old goaltender in the net for a World Junior game for the first time in 38 years. Brought in by Delevka. Delevka winds in, throws it back in front. That's picked off. And bumped up by Gibson to the line, but not out. Sartz winds in, gets around Cowan, shoots. That was blocked by Ritchie. The puck was in his equipment. We got a penalty coming here. They're going to take
a review.
They're going to review this high stick.
Look at me.
So Delevka got clipped with a high stick. He's at the Latvian bench. And so this could mean a major penalty being reviewed.
Oh boy. And it's Gibson as well, a guy they'd want on the ice for probably at least half the remaining time on the clock. Had one official go over and check on Delevka to see the nature of the contact. Checking his nose. Oh, that doesn't look pleasant. Sure the jaw's all okay. Looks like he's going to be fine. I guess the refs will take a look at it. Doesn't look like there's too much of an injury there for Delevka. That's good news for him. There's 11 in the corner. Oh, it's a little shove.
It's an elbow, maybe.
Elbow. I mean, he's leaning over. It's an elbow. He's trying to seal him off on the boards. Doesn't feel good. I think Delevka should be fine from that. And
referees Peter Stano from Slovakia and Michael Scherig from Switzerland. They've shown it on the scoreboard now here in the ring.
That feels like a 2 for elbowing. Delevka's okay. There is no injury on the play. It is a shot to the head, which they are very sensitive to.
It's no longer a 2 and 10 for a checking to the head penalty.
After video review, Team Canada, number 2, 2 minute elbowing.
And so Latvia goes to the power play for the 5th time. So the 2nd straight game that Canada's been shorthanded 5 times.
That's the correct call. So it's not violent. He's trying to seal him off. The official's right there. I don't even know if the official sees it or he hears it or reacts to the Lefka going down, but he got his elbow up into the face of the Lefka, and now 7:34 left. Another penalty kill with their best penalty killing defenseman in the box.
Latvia 8 shots on the 4 power plays. Canada does have its only goal, short-handed. And Luchenko, the man who scored, it's out there for the face-off. Won by Latvia. Back at the point, Bulans. Feeds it in, Matejko shoots. Havikovic got a piece of that. Lifshitz plays it back for Bulans. To Lifshitz. Feeds that back, picked out by Luchenko. Back at the point, Bulans holds it. Long shot, got through, tipped high by Matejko. And on the line, held by Price, but now sent down the ice by Luchenko. He'll go off on a change. Lifshitz brings it across the line. Molendyke on it, chips it back around, and it's Bonk taking a mighty swing at that, knocking it ahead for Baudouin. Nadeau trying to work it free. And now Baudouin, puck was in his feet, brought back out. Osmanis works it, feeds it back, and they score! Matejko, power play goal, and Latvia's tied the game with 6:42 to go in the third. Eric Matejko from St. John of the Quebec Maritime Junior League. They've only got 2 drafted players in their roster, and one of them just scored.
Canada had so many cracks at it. Baudouin there just got to poke it over the blue line. Wasn't able to do it, and a great seam pass. As Baudouin heading back down, lets Matejko get inside position. It's a little late to it. Bonk doesn't sort it out either, and it's an empty netter. No chance for Ivan Kovic. And you know, you tempt fate too many times. You keep taking penalties, you keep giving opportunities, and eventually someone's going to make a play. And disbelief probably on both benches that we are where we are. 1-1.
Yep. Now Pinelli winds in. He shoots. And there's all kinds of permutations here, but if this game were to go to overtime, a win's only worth 2 points, not 3.
Plays right here, though. You have 3 players committed by Canada. Baudouin gets that last touch. It doesn't keep it in. Matejko wires it down towards the net. It gets knocked down by his teammate, and then Baudouin just loses track of Matejko on the way to the net. Nice seam pass, nice finish.
Matejko, the captain in St. John. And now Icky with it. Back across to Dickinson. Lead for Catton. Berkeley Catton drops it back. McKenna takes a return pass from Mickey. Feeds it back in front. Catton could get a stick on that. Now Pinelli with it. Here's Pinelli back in the corner. Luca Pinelli. For Dickinson, who plays that in. Oh, there's a big hit. A penalty coming to Latvia. That's going to be Martins Klaudsons who goes off.
Careful not to take the extra one here. Clearly the first one was going to be a hit from behind, and I wonder if they don't take a look at this as well.
Indication is boarding. Checking from behind is not a minor penalty. It can only be a major. So often the referees
Defer to boarding.
defer to the boarding call.
White. Team Latvia play number 13, 2 minutes for the boarding.
That's the definition of a board. Cat stopping up, gets him right between the numbers, drives him head into the glass, just above the dasher. And so Canada, whose power play has not done much at all, has an opportunity to salvage a game.
0 for 6 in the tournament. 0 for 3 tonight. Cameron saying that's contact to the head.
He wants them to look at it. Not gonna happen.
Ritchie, Baudouin, Nadeau, Cow on the forwards, Bonk on the back end. 6:05 to go in the third period and a 1-1 tie. For the puck off the face-off. Bach steps up. Plays it back down to Nadeau. Nadeau with it. Feeds that back to Cowan. Cowan drops it back to Bach. For Cowan with a shot. Whistled that just wide. Ritchie. Back around the Baudouin. Feeds that back to Cowan. Back across. Ritchie shot scores! Cal Ritchie, power play goal, and Canada's back on top. That first one comes at the perfect time.
They needed it. Easton Cowan goes way wide, but it's a puck retrieval and a keep here from Baudouin. Watch how he moves his feet. Doesn't let himself get checked. Finds an angle to get it to Cowan, then right back through the seam. That's not up and around. It's direct. Cowan to Ritchie, and he slings this one. Get it up. Get it short side. Oh, top shelf over Feldbergs, and Canada finally a power play goal. Restores the lead. Really a smirk from Dave Cameron.
Almost as happy as the guy behind him. All right, so 5.5 to go here. There's not been a 5-on-5 goal scored in this game. Power play and a shorthanded goal for Canada. Power play goal for Latvia. Verbaka plays that back.
Touch the glove.
So 5:20 remaining here in the third period. 1 minute and 4 seconds after Latvia tied it up. Cal Ritchie puts Canada back in front with a power play goal here in Ottawa.
To have it. They earned a power play, and they draw the Latvians low. Baudouin keeps it alive, and Cowan's able to go straight across. And that was such a good shot by Ritchie. Not going for max velocity, but accuracy. And time to celebrate if you're a Canadian fan, and that's how it feels when you're in the box for a big goal against Coquins. Head down. 5:20 left in the game.
Off the face-off, controlled by Latvia. Verbaka looks ahead. Here's Gibson playing it back ahead for Pinelli. Drops it off to McKenna. McKenna moves in, and McKenna plays it back across. The Pinelli shot was high in the air. Everyone lost track of it. Picked up by Cat. Beats it down. McKenna with a shot. Felbers leans and makes the save.
It's a nice little play. That felt like McDavid to Draisaitl. Hard drive by Cat, kicking it down to McKenna. And there was a little bit of room there before Feldbergs got over to seal the post. McKenna opens up, slides down to the bottom of the circle. And if he gets this one closer to the post, I think it can rattle and roll in there, perhaps, to sneak past Feldbergs.
Ritchie back out there for the face-off. Bounces back and controlled by Latvia. Delevka lines in, flips it ahead, and the pass just bounced away from Saradskis. Bonk for Nadeau. Rink wide to Cowan. Easton Cowan flips that back down for Ritchie. Cal Ritchie scored an NHL goal this year for Colorado. Now slings that towards the goal. Feldbergs to save. Bounce back down to the Canadian zone as Dickinson goes back. Sam Dickinson. More goals, more points than any defenseman in junior hockey this year. Bounce back down to the Latvian zone. Zionskas jumps it across the line, drops that back for Domers. Now Gibson stepped into Motts. Jagger out for Howe, trying to knock that down. And Jagger goes the other way and bounces it back to center ice. Back goes Molendyk for it. Out for Howe. Howe up for Jagger. In comes Braden Jagger along, shoot it, knocked down by Feldberg. Fan on the clearing attempt. And Domers has it back for Latvia. Out to center ice. Picked off by Gibson. Moves it back ahead through the middle for Luchenko. And Uyanskas has that knocked away by Baudouin, moving it in for Luchenko. 3.5 to go here in the third period. Gauthier into the forecheck. Now it's knocked down by Baudouin. Plays it right back in. The cycle continues as Gauthier picks it up. Ethan Gauthier feeds that back to Price. A long shot that's tipped wide by Luchenko. Bank back. Lujanskis with it. Long lead pass. Chipped ahead. That's knocked away by Price. And a penalty coming to Caden Price as Murnieks went flying.
On a hook? I'm not sure if it's on who. Bonk or Price? On Gauthier. I'm looking at the wrong thing, obviously.
Team Canada, number 22 minute hooking.
That's Peter Stano making the call.
So Latvia back to the power play with 3:02 to go.
And here's... I mean, you get into the hands, you put yourself at risk. That's probably unnecessary given that Price was closing. Murnieks goes for a yard sale.
Latvia calls timeout. So Price thought the penalty was on him.
Yeah, and Bonk thought it was on him, and they couldn't believe it, so it's on Gauthier. You got to be so careful this time of the game. You know penalties are still being called tightly.
Canada again without Matthew Schaefer, was injured in the first period. Young defenseman colliding hard with the goal frame. Not returning tonight. The status for the rest of the tournament unclear.
But as violent a collision as you could see with the goal, and sort of cast a shadow over the entire evening. Early on, it's stayed all night.
All right, so the Latvians go to the power play. 3:02 to go, Mike, and so a chance now to see a 6-on-4 for the Latvians, deciding when they'll pull Feldbergs.
Minute in, if you have the puck in the offensive zone, full control, out he comes. Let's get the 6-on guy back there and look for the tying goal.
This will be a nervous 2 minutes.
Face-offs, pivotal.
Yeah. And Luchenko for the draw against Lifshitz. Puck controlled by Latvia. Bulans. For Lifshitz. Back for Matejko. Fans on that. Matejko has the power play goal for the Latvians. On the backhand, Dickinson clears it out. Swinging it back is Bulans for it. Bulans drops that back for Osmanis. Fires it back down to the Canadian zone. Gibson waiting for it. Takes a chop at that. Matejko couldn't knock it out. Back at the line, held by Bulans. Osmanis feeds it back across. Lifshitz tees it up. They score! From the point, Pateras Bulans. Power play goal. The game's tied at 2 with 2:29 to go. Latvia with 2 power play goals late. Both to equalize.
Full marks to Latvia. Opportunity here in the first rush to maybe get it down. Gibson turns it over. And then you start going seams and you're in trouble. Through once, back again. Ivan Kovic's down. He doesn't know where the puck is. He's on his knees, loses his net a little bit. And the shot from Bulans right down the slot. Just has to get it up and finds a piece of Ivan Kovic, but more of the back of the net. You can see Ivan Kovic's eyes. He's trying to find the puck. Cannot do it.
So Bulans, who plays for Chicoutimi in the Quebec League, has 2 goals this year. And a big one here tonight to tie it at 2. What a roller coaster night it's been. All right, so didn't need to get the goalie out. Feldbergs plays that back across. McKenna tried to pick that off. Now racing back is Price. Glove down by McKenna. Away comes McKenna. Quickly ahead for Pinelli. Luca Pinelli winds in. Pinelli gets a step, shoots. Feldbergs to stop. Bonk back with it. At the point, Price can't hold it. Inside 2 to go here in the third period. And now Catton swings back. Berkeley Catton has that picked up at center ice. And Gibson back for it. Around he goes for Molendyk. Chipped in by Pinelli. Gloved down by Siunskis. And that's squeezed by Gibson back down. As Molendyk goes back, icing waved off. And Gibson arguing that call or non-call. case may be. 90 seconds to go in the third. Molendijk gains center ice and fires that down. Ritchie hunting after it. Gibson to Ritchie. Down to Gibson, who's in deep. Andrew Gibson flips that back to Cowan. Easton Cowan, a shot that's blocked. Cowan gets it right back. Lines in. Drops it back for Molendijk. His long shot goes just wide. Ritchie back on it. He shoots. That goes wide. Saradskis plays it back to center. Now Ritchie feeds that back for Bonk. Oliver Bonk fires it down. Nadeau. Around to Cowan. Cowan knocked down. Here's Ritchie pulling it free. Now Cowan back on it. Slides that back to Bonk. Oliver Bonk with a shot. Felberg save. Rebound loose in front. They battle away from it. Nadeau gets a stick on it. Here's Cowan with a shot. Felberg lunges out. Makes the save. Cowan with 30 seconds to go in the period. Fires again. That was blocked. Rebound loose in front. Nadeau knocks it loose. Felberg's no stick. Thrown back in front. Bonk with a shot. That goes wide. Felberg's lunging back, still with no goal stick. Cowan back to Bonk with a shot that deflects wide. Now Price makes it down. 10 seconds to go in the period. Nadeau back down to Price. Price shoots. Felberg save. Rebound loose. Nadeau battles for it. And the Latvians send it down, survive furious pressure, and this game is going to overtime. Latvia had never been close to beating Canada before. Equalized the game twice in the third period to send this game to overtime. It's the 2025 World Junior Hockey Championship on TSN, where anything can happen. On the Canadian bench, perhaps shocked that this game is going to overtime, tied at 2. And on the Latvian bench, perhaps even more shocked that this game is going to overtime, tied at 2. So it's on to OT we go. The IHF rules. 5 minutes of 3-on-3, followed by a shootout if necessary. In the preliminary round, in the quarterfinals, semifinals, and bronze medal game, it's 10 minutes. The gold medal game, there is no shootout. You play until someone scores. All the overtime played, 3-on-3. Latvia 2 goals on 2 shots in the final 6 minutes and 42 seconds.
Canada was taking the 1-0 lead into the third period, but penalty trouble, puts Latvia on the power, but Matejko on a nice play, ties the game. You think, okay, we're going to overtime, but Canada draws a power play of their own, and they get their first power play goal. It's Cal Ritchie getting upstairs with just a few minutes left, and you're thinking Canada's got it, but another penalty puts Latvia back on a power play, and it's the captain, Bulans, who evens things up, and Latvia survives a furious last-minute push by Canada to get a point and to get this game to overtime.
The Latvian junior team channeling the senior men's team and Olympic team, which has given lots of powerhouses scares over the years. The Latvians, of course, put a stick in the spokes of Germany last year in the last preliminary round game, beat them to advance to the quarterfinals. Knocked Germany down the relegation, and Germany had to win in overtime against Norway to stay up in the top division. So now 3-on-3 overtime. This result, no matter what happens here, is going to send shockwaves through this tournament. Off the draw, Nadeau battling for it, and once again the Latvians gain possession. Here is Bulans, who scored the tying goal. Swings back. Canada's got Ritchie, Nadeau, and Molendijk on the ice. Bulans being shadowed there by Ritchie. Matejko in across the Canadian line. That's a mile offside.
They went back to the well. Latvia, they had Murnieks out there to take the face-off. He went with the Latvian long change. They tried to slide him in the defensive door. Okay. And they put Osmanis coming out the offensive door, trying to slide in behind the goalie. A-Ball's digging deep into Bob Hartley's Latvian tricks.
Now control off the draw. Here's Bonk along with Cowan and Jagger. Easton Cowan 56-game point streak with London of the OHL. Jagger winds across the top. Jagger drops it back to Cowan. Cowan's got to regroup.
Attack the forward.
In comes Cowan. On the forward, goes behind the back. Cowan backhand shot. Rebound loose in front. Jagger with a shot. Felbergs has lost his goal stick again. And now moved ahead, a chance for Latvia. Serkins moves in. Knocked down by Bonk. Long lead pass to Cowan. He's got Jagger with him. Cowan winds in. Easton Cowan poke check. Off the bench comes Molendyk streaking in. Tanner Molendyk on it. Winds back in. Molendyk moves across. Shoots. Felbergs the save. Rebound loose at the side of the goal. Molendyk chips that back for Cowan. And now Cowan races to the loose puck. He's been out there a while. Banks it back. He'll need off. As Jagger peels off as well. On comes Gavin McKenna. Molendyk drops it back to McKenna. Gavin McKenna as the crowd rises to his feet. Shoots. Felbergs the save will hang on to that. And the faceoff will be in the Latvian zone.
Well, you try to identify the forward. There's Cowan. He attacks the forward and gets around a nice move. You think Jager's got an empty netter, but it's a diving stick, but it was a lapala. Look at this effort. Oh, my goodness, would have been an empty netter. And everyone laid out to turn it aside. Fans in disbelief.
Oh, Zalapa saved one there. Now Catton for the face-off with McKenna and Price. And he wins it. Back to Price for McKenna. Now McKenna slips in, little head fake, rolls that wide. Price is in deep. Gathers up the loose puck. Caden Price. Back to Catton. Winds it and shoots. Felbergs has just a piece of that. Serkins moves at the center ice. It's picked up. Brought back by Catton. Tripping Catton in, shoots. Felbergs the save, and he hangs on to that.
Usually there's not a lot of shots in overtime. That's 5 for Canada already. As they continue to pepper Felbergs. Good backtrack by Catton. Turn it over. Trying to go a quick release to maybe full Felbergs, but he has been rock solid all game long. Another offensive zone face-off.
We've seen this movie, Mike, dozens of times at the World Championship.
Yeah.
At the Olympics, the Latvians are quite often outgunned, but they punch above their weight. Bonk down to Ritchie. Cal Ritchie peels back, drops it up to Bonk. Oh, Bonk shoots. Felbergs the save, and once again, there's no rebound.
High roll for Bonk. He's got a decision. Do I shoot it or do I slide it to Ritchie in the back door? Felt like Ritchie was available. We're going to look at it here. 21 drops and goes, and he's wide open. He can just get a puck through to him. Felberg keeps the glove high, doesn't leave the post early, make another good save.
Now Ritchie for the face-off, back to Bonk. Bonk to Ritchie. Crisscrossing with Nadeau, he drops it off. In comes Bradley Nadeau. Slides around Bonk again. Nadeau winds through, drops it off to Ritchie. Walking in, Cal Ritchie with a chance, he's poke check. And Oljanskis spins back with it. Oljanskis, long lead pass. Murnieks, he walks right in. Murnieks shoots. Ivan Kovic makes the save. Murnieks throws that back, but the pass too far for Oljanskis, and Canada makes a quick change. Oljanskis works in, lost the puck to Jagger. Now Braden Jagger winds through center ice. The Canadian captain moves in with Cowan. Jagger pivots back. Drops that back to Molendyk. Molendyk back to Cowan. Cowan gets around the first man. Pivots back again. Cowan. Little stutter step. Shoots. That goes just wide. Matejko back with it now for Latvia. Matejko stumbles there, but now plays the puck ahead. Chipped up by Boulans. In across the line with Matejko. He pivots back. As the Latvians regroup, now Boulans with a head of steam. Attacks the forward, Jagger moves in. Boulans, a quick shot. Ivan Kovic save, rebound. And Matejko turned away in tight. Brought back out. Osmanus works in, throws it back in front. Ivan Kovic steers that away. And now Molendyk back with it. Inside a minute to go in overtime. Molendyk drops it back.
They're going to give Canada too many? Oh my goodness. It's just 3 guys out there. Can't be hard to find your change.
Team Canada, bench minor for too many men on the ice.
Oh my.
So the Latvians with 2 power play goals in the game will now get 1 in overtime.
A 4-on-3. Oh yeah, that's way early.
They got 4 guys in the play, yeah.
Both forwards jump for the same first guy coming off, McKenna and Catton. Bad miscommunication at the bench. And a power play which is struck twice already goes back to work 4-on-3 to try to win the game.
It'll be McKenna who serves it. Now I think Cameron wants a question here. He wants to know if McKenna's in the penalty box.
If he's serving it at the end of the game, can he still take a shot?
Can he be in the shootout?
If he can't be, then we'll put somebody else in there.
He's saying the word shootout. Yeah, he's
1, 2, 3, 4. What are we doing? That's exactly what, and that's why they're
so they're going to send Baudouin to serve it.
Yeah.
Because if you're in the penalty box at the end of overtime, you can't take part in the shootout.
It's good awareness. A lot of stuff happening right now. Still have to keep your cool, keep your head.
All right. 4-on-3 power play for Latvia. 42 seconds to go in overtime. And Bulans, who scored the tying goal for Latvia on the power play, moves in. Bulans brings it back around for Lipschitz. Matejko. Osmanus was alone in front. Bulans feeds it across. Lipschitz. Osmanus, and then we got a crease violation against Matejko. That's going to take the face-off outside.
Not a penalty, just a whistle.
The IHF rule where if you take position in the crease, they blow the play dead.
Good call. Matejko knocked Kovic off stride.
Watch your crease, watch out!
He has to make that call because that was going to be an empty netter had he not blown it down.
Jagger for the face-off against Lipschitz. Osmanus works in as time winds down here in the overtime. Osmanus feeds it back across. A hard shot. Ivan Kovic the save on the shot by Lipschitz. Bulans. Osmanus winds it back for Bulans. Time winding down. Shoots. That deflects high. Up and out of play with 3 seconds to go in overtime.
More good opportunities. Latvia understands the urgency. Getting it down to the net. Ivan Kovic battling through traffic and having a hard time spotting pucks with all the bodies in front of him. Loses his stick, making the shoulder save there. Picks it up, he's got it upside down. Here comes the next shot. He's barely settled for it. And eventually, puck is deflected over the glass. 1 face-off win in the corner for Lachenko. The game's over.
The puck goes to the sideboards. And Canada and Latvia are going to a shootout at the World Junior Hockey Championship.
To even hear you say it, it's stunning.
So now it's a 5-round shootout. And this has been a stunning evening, and full credit to Latvia. Goaltender Leonards Feldbergs has been terrific. The shots are 56-26 in favor of Canada.
Canada said before the game, and maybe it wasn't just lip service, that Latvia would be the hardest working team they play in this tournament. And Latvia has been that. They have battled and sacrificed and defended and bent, but not broke enough to get this game to overtime. Canada's penalties, trouble, hurt them in the third period with 2 power play goals against. game gets to overtime, you think, well, this probably won't last the full 5-8 minutes, will it? There's some really good chances at both ends. And Canada started carrying the play early, multiple looks, but Feldberg's 6 shots and 6 saves in the overtime period to allow his team to eventually have a chance to go on the power play and try to get it themselves. Latvia basically was just hanging back, not doing much at all until late. Couple looks, and Kovic has to fight that one off, and then a penalty for too many men on the ice. And Latvia had their chances. This was, well, shots are lopsided, possession's lopsided, but really the quality of chances hasn't been as one-sided as the shot clock would suggest.
Latvia has played 36 games all time in the preliminary round of the World Junior Championship, has 2 wins. Beat the Czechs in 2022, beat Germany last year. So now it's a 5-round shootout, 5 different shooters to start, and then after the 5th round, you can start using players over again.
And this is something that teams do practice.
Yeah.
They check the stats from their regular season games.
Latvia won the toss and will go first.
And so Canada would have a definite plan on who to pick.
Jack Ivankovic, by the way, has faced 5 shootout attempts in his career. Has not allowed a goal yet. But on the other side, Feldbergs has faced 16 in the Quebec League with Sherbrooke. Has stopped 13 of them. Matejko is their best. He's 4 for 7 with St. John. Canada has a plethora of players who have good shootout records. McKenna's 2 for 3 in his career.
And I don't think Canada would have anyone having a hot enough game to go out of rotation.
There's Frank and Kelly. Ivankovic looking on. Frank works in the beer business. Might need a case after this one.
How do I make this tournament so great? You just don't know. You never can tell.
All right, so Latvia to go first. And the first shooter will be Osmanis. Osmanis plays in the Swedish Junior League, moves in, he's stopped by Ivankovic.
Good lateral move by Ivankovic. Thought he might get stumbled up on cutting back, but even though he bit on the first fake, he was still able to go across to take it away.
Berkeley Catton, 3 for 8 in his career in the Western Hockey League in shootouts. Catton winds in, he's stopped by Feldberg.
Feldberg's okay. A little slow to get up as he stretched out. Take the backhand attempt. Nice to sell shot. And Feldberg's right on it. Gets his skate blade on the backhand move from Catton.
Davis Lifshitz plays in the Finnish Junior League. Chance to give Latvia the lead in the shootout. Lifshitz moves in. He's stopped by Ivankovic.
Oh, he went with a cheeky off-speed pitch. Trying to flick it over the glove. The glove that did not fall from Ivankovic. Watch his glove position. I got you. Locked in on it.
Gavin McKenna, the 17-year-old, 2 for 3 in his career in the Western League so far. Comes in slowly on Feldbergs, speeds up and shoots, and Feldbergs makes the stop. Shooters are 0 for 4 so far.
Oh, McKenna, I thought he was going to go Patrick Kane, just stick handle it right in. Kuznetsov style. And he was trying to lull Feldbergs to sleep and then eventually go short side, but Feldbergs right on it again. Blocker save and darn it.
Now Saratskas plays in the Swedish Junior League. Winds his way and shoots and put it wide. Still nothing.
Ivankovic doing his thing, giving his team a chance. And Porter Martone about to shoot. He has not been on the ice, I don't think, in the 3rd period or overtime.
He's 3 for 6 in his career in the Ontario League. Martone winds in. Puck check by Feldbergs, and he keeps the puck out. And the shooters are 0 for 6 now through 3 rounds.
I think Feldbergs got a touch on the first poke check, which would have made it no goal anyways. Martone trying to come back, but Little quick stick. Got the first touch, and that was it for Martone.
Marniaks plays for Sioux City, the USHL. Locks in. Oh, the cover with a glove save. What a stop.
He looked beat. He looked like he was out of it. And the glove snatching it off the goal line. What a save by Kovic.
And now Easton Cowan to give Canada the lead. He's 1 for 4 in his career in shootouts. Takes the long route. In comes Cowan. Shoots. And Felbergs wasn't biting. On to round 5 we go.
The patience by Felbergs to hang in there. Cowan taking his sweet time. Selling shot, trying to go 5-hole. And that pad is on the ice.
Have saved their best for last. Matejko winds in and shoots. He put it wide. Matejko, who is 4 for 7 in his career, has missed. And now a chance for Canada to win it.
Bradley Nadeau.
Playing this year for Chicago in the American Hockey League. First round pick of the Carolina Hurricanes. Bradley Nadeau to win it. Walks right in. He's stopped by Felsberg. And now it's off to round 6, and now you can start reusing players.
Nadeau tries to go above the pad. Don't think he elevates it as much as he wants. Yeah, spot was there and missed it.
Now they'll change the order.
Canada will go first.
Canada goes first.
Can pick anybody they want on the bench.
Cal Ritchie. 2 for 16 in his career. Ontario League to give Canada the lead. Ritchie winds in, has a look, hands on it, rebound, and
that's his move.
There you go.
That's his special move, the fake shot, and then go backhand. That's how he scored his only NHL goal. He scored a goal in the OHL like this. It's
not
great
a rebound,
move.
but a regroup. And
I think Felbergs knew. He looked like he was locked in on that.
Osmanis, a chance to win it. He was the first shooter for Latvia. Osmanis winds in and shoots. Ivan Kovic makes the stop.
It's outrageous. 0 for 12?
Yeah. And now the captain, Jagr. Braden Jagr, 4 for 13 in his career. Another chance to win it. Jagr in, shoots, and Felbergs again makes the stop.
The goalies are not even making this look difficult. They are right on. I see Felbergs trying to implore his bench to come on, boys, give me one.
And Latvia is going back to Osmanis, his 3rd try. 3rd chance for Latvia to win it. Osmanis winds in and shoots. Ivan Kovic the save.
These goalies.
14 for 14 are the goalies.
It's incredible. There's nothing.
And now back to Catton, who was Canada's first shooter. Another chance to win it. Catton winds in, and Felbergs makes the stop.
He's 8 for 8 against Canada's best shooters.
And now Latvia, they're going to go back to Osmanis. Osmanis? No.
I don't think he can't go again. He's gone 3 times, missed twice in a row.
Now Matejko will go for the 2nd try. This is Latvia's 4th chance to win this shootout. Matejko moves it and shoots, scores! And Latvia has shocked Canada, taking down the host country 3-2 in a shootout. Their first ever win against Canada at the World Junior Hockey Championship. One of the biggest upsets in the history of this tournament. It took the 16th shooter to finally score. But the Latvians have won it.
Never would have imagined in a million years. Matejko, that's a wicked shot. Posted in. Ivan Kovic did more than his share, stopping 7 in a row to give his team a chance over and over. And yet they could not solve Feldberg's.
Matejko scored in regulation. Scores the only goal in the shootout. And Latvia has its 3rd ever win in the preliminary round at the World Junior.
Well, Feldbergs, who played last year against Canada, got pulled with a goals against of 10.
Yeah, allowed 7 goals on 31 shots.
And he came back and stopped 54 of 56.